Hey, so me and this dude have been best friends since we were kids. I'm Alan. I write graphic novels for a living. That's Victor. He does TV and film production. We're finally making a feature-length film together, and we're inviting you to join us. This is Making Our First Movie. Two young activists must choose between violence and peace to bring down the corrupt politician responsible for the death of their childhood friend. All right, party people. So this is our last episode for now. One of the things that me and Victor wanted to talk about was trying to weave in. We've kind of hinted around it in some of these earlier episodes, but we both grew up in a community of faith, grew up in a church. And that is where we learned a lot of the ideas of compassion and caring for each other. And, one of the things that, that you and I have been discussing, Victor, is how we don't see that compassion coming from people of faith as much as we would like to, because that's what we were raised to believe.
Yeah. It's disappointing, actually. It's very disappointing even to see the direction that the church as a whole has gone, to the point where people have turned their backs on it, and I can't say I blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you treat people like crap, if you don't show love, if you I don't know. I mean, if your motive is money, if you're displaying racism in the church, if you're not helping the people who are poor, if you're taking something like Black Lives Matter and making it into All Lives Matter, and not really looking at the people,
right?
If you're taking the church and making it political, it's like you're doing it wrong. And I can't blame the masses for saying, I'm good on the church. And they find every excuse to dog it out. And you can't say, well, they're just sinners and they hate us because we love God. No.
Yeah.
They don't like you because you hate them.
It's weird because in nearly every teaching that you find about Jesus, it's a teaching on compassion and love. But let's say a majority of interactions with people who are Christian do not feel like they are fueled by compassion.
Right.
And so the dilemma for us coming from that place was, how do we engage this topic? Like, how do we respect the people who are part of that faith, who loved us and raised us with love, but still hold the institution of the American church and Christianity as a whole accountable?
Right.
And that was like a hard thing, because it's not the main theme of our movie, but it certainly is there.
It's an element of it. It's an element.
Yeah.
And I think you did a really, and I'm gonna tell you, when I read the script, that few scenes, there were very few, maybe like two, I think, scenes where you had, he was the pastor, but not a traditional pastor in any sense. I like how you wrote him. He was someone, if you saw him on the street, you would think he was some, hipster or something, tatted up, like who is this guy really a Christian? But I love the how you wrote the scene and how he spoke to the people. And I think it was really, really well done, because it was a very, very real, very down to earth, was not religious, and it hit the heart of the matter.
And also, when we're looking at things like you mentioned, the Black Lives Matter, and we look at these protests, there are a lot of people who are on the opposite side of things. Or like anytime you bring up racial reconciliation or growth or changing anything to improve the society, there's always at least a vocal group of people who identify as Christians who are fighting those changes. And and it's not to say that there aren't people of faith who are fighting for those changes, because there definitely are.
And that's why the importance of bringing it back to the movie. I'm really, really pleased with how you tied that in. No, this is not a faith-based movie. I don't have anything against it. But that's not what this is. This is a real life movie. And in real life, we have people of faith. And I like the way you tied it in, because I think everybody can relate to the character that you wrote and the words he spoke. I think it'll touch everybody, because it's really well done. Really well done.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, so we're at the point where we're making sure with the movie, we went through our whole coronavirus, stopping everything, and now things are picking back up. You and I talked about we were going to film in Atlanta originally. Now it's looking like we're going to do it in Colorado.
Like I'm saying, and the reason why, I mean, I think I kind of switched directions to taking it to Colorado is because we've had a lot of support out there. I mean, the base out there, they've really been rallying behind this.
Yeah.
Since we started doing these series, I mean, they've really gotten behind this, and I'm really pleased with the response that we've gotten out there. And I think that filming it out there, I think we can maximize what we have to get the best movie.
Right.
You know, although I'm based here in Atlanta, you know, and Atlanta is Georgia's a very big movie state.
Right.
But right now, Colorado is showing this movie a lot of love, and they're getting behind it strong. So
yeah, it's
that's
true.
The reason why.
It's been cool to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we make sure our financing is in place. We're getting ready to work on our casting. So you know, anybody who's been watching these, hopefully it's been helpful to you. Reach out to us if you have more specific questions about making your own movies. I think, you know, Victor, man, it's just been good having these conversations with you, man, as we continue to work on this stuff, you know?
Same here, I agree. I mean, I feel like we've grown together doing this, even doing this little series here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've grown. I think we've shown people who we are, and I think a lot of people can really relate to our relationship, and as it relates to this movie, I think they relate to it even more. But this has been a really good experience for me so far, and hopefully the next episode we put out is behind the scenes of us on set shooting this movie.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Which would be great. Right.
Well, I've been having this fear that after doing this, whenever I meet people on the street, they're going to expect me to have on a Clever t-shirt.
Shouldn't be hard for you to do.
It's true, I usually have them, but, you know, it still feels like a lot of pressure. But anyway, this one is Prince giving the weather report.
Prince?
The forecast
purple.
is purple rain.
It's purple rain, of
Yes.
course. Of course it is. Why would it not be?
Why would it be anything else?
Good stuff.